Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Criterion Connection, first one of 2022. I'm Wade.
And I'm Scott. Surprisingly, not Joe.
Yes, Joe, he has picked up some overtime at his job, so he's been working 10-hour days, so we haven't had time to, do an episode, so Scott's here.
They dust me off every once in a while for one of these, and I'm like, what the heck?
Yeah, so this one, the last two you did were art house horror films. This one is not that.
No, it's far from it.
Yes, so
you couldn't get any more further from this.
So we were doing
from it with this.
James Brooks' 1987 film, the Rom-com, and a very unusual rom-com called Broadcast News, starring William Hurt, or Bill Hurt.
Who calls him Bill Hurt?
I'm doing it right now.
All right, Bill. Hashtag Bill Hurt.
Albert Brooks.
Let's trend it.
Albert Brooks and Holly Hunter.
That's right.
And also Joan Cusack's in it.
You've been doing that. I hate when that happens. Like when there's who you want to say.
I said Joan Crawford.
And then you say something completely different. I hate when that happens. I feel you.
And Jack Nicholson makes a cameo.
He's there a little bit. I would say a little more than a cameo.
He's on the TV screen, but he makes one scene where he's actually in person,
right?
And stuff like that. He's always in the peripheral,
right?
It's basically a love triangle, but it's also like a business relationship.
I like the way you said you heard someone describe it before we started recording. Someone said it was like a rom-com without much rom and without much com.
Yeah.
And I think that's a fair assessment.
It's just hyphen.
Yeah, this it's very the rom and the com is very subdued in this movie.
Well, let's kind of just do overall thoughts, because we have very different vibes on the film.
Right.
I particularly liked the film. You did not.
I didn't hate it. I thought it was okay, and that sucks for me, because usually if a movie's really bad, I can have fun with how bad it is. I can have fun with my anger. But if I'm not quite feeling it, and it's just it's well acted. It's not that the jokes and stuff don't work. They're just not hitting for me.
Except Albert Brooks is a COVID hoarder.
Oh, that damn dirty COVID hoarder, Albert Brooks. You know what you did.
Yeah.
You and your living funeral, you jerk.
I do like how the movie started. It's
yes.
It shows the young kids, and it also establishes their characters, Tom, played by William Hurt, not as the kid. He's got 2 D's, a C, and incomplete. But he's I'm going to try. So he's not really bright, but he's going to try his hardest to be the best he can be.
And everyone's kind of well, what do you care? You're pretty.
Yeah. Albert Brooks' character, Aaron, he's the valedictorian, so he's smart. But he also is not afraid to speak his piece without the consequences.
Right.
Without worrying about consequences. Has one of the best lines. You'll never make $19,000 a year as he's getting beat up. Ha ha ha!
It really is one of the best insults you could possibly dish out to someone. And I feel bad that it's the kid version of him and not the adult one played by Albert Brooks that has his character's best line.
Yeah, and then there's Jane. We show her as a kid typing up. Her dad scares her. She's like, oh. Because she's so focused in her work, and her dad says one thing, and she has to be actually no, and she has to kind of speak her argument and her piece, because the idea of women in a male dominant medium news or whatever back in the 80s. It tells you everything you need to know in these kids,
right? Which
works,
and that I really enjoyed that part of it. I was 100% there for it. I got where they were going with there.
I think what you like is you don't like morally ambiguous characters.
I don't like
when all the main characters are that.
That because then I could see that, because I guess I don't feel like anyone really stands out. I don't think any character to me really stood out, because everybody's miserable. Everybody has everybody, you got the 2 guys who are fighting over Jane. They're fighting over Jane, and she's indecisive on who she's leaning towards. She has her moments where she's leaning more towards Aaron. More times than not, though, she's leaning towards Tom. And there was part of her that, like, I get it, and I was with. Like, I did like the idea of the whole, like, almost going against your personal beliefs, all for the sake of, like, a guy.
And she met him
at
like a presentation she did about
Right.
how there's not enough substance in the news, as she falls for someone that is kind of dense. He's not the smartest man. He's a good salesman, I guess, but he's not a good. He's not really. He's pretty dim. But she falls for him because of the very reasons on why she has issues with the news right now. And it's interesting because, I mean, Erin's been friend zoned, but on she knows. I think she knows that on paper they should be perfect together. Right. But she just doesn't have that spark for him.
Right. And that's the thing about this movie is I get the vibe that Holly Hunter, was it Jane? She is the main one, at least I felt, that I need to be focusing on.
I agree.
Because she's kind of caught in the middle of us, of pretty much all of what's going on. She's the one that has to work with Aaron and help Aaron get his thing ready so he can try to get promoted or whatever. She's the one that has to help Tom basically be ready for prime time, as they say. And also, she's the one in the office making sure that the stuff gets to air on time.
She also is the one that decided that Tiffany goes to Alaska.
Yes.
Which I love, like, they like, after, like, the...
Wait, I thought it was Jennifer.
Jennifer, sorry. Not Tiffany. Jennifer. Like, when after they do they show the date rape news story. Right. And they walk away, and then they show Jennifer, "Hi, I'm from Anchorage." She's all freezing. There's fun little things like there, like Albert Brooks sweating through his suit.
That I like.
Joan Cusack running with the tape.
That might be the best scene in the whole movie, in my opinion.
And what's also great is, like, you see how crazy the newsroom is as Tom is being introduced to the newsroom. So it's like, you're being introduced, but it's not super exposition.
And I think that was another thing about Tom was I feel like at certain points in the movie, particularly at the beginning, I feel like Tom was supposed to be the quote-unquote you character. The one that, because you're learning it with him. Yeah. But then, like...
Skywalker.
But then as time goes on, I'm like, oh, that's me? Ew. Because I really didn't like Tom. Even before his, like, thing towards the end. He just felt a little too wooden for my taste.
And I guess that's the point, that he's a wooden robot anchor.
Yeah, but he doesn't have to be... He can be wooden on camera, but... Jesus.
I also there's a little thing they add to it. It's an undertone thing of the news being desensitized. Like, they're talking about, like, war and Alaskan serial killers and date rape, but Joel's like desensitized. They're just like, we'll just cover the story. No one's like affected, except for they watch Tom talk to the person about being raped.
Because he shows an emotion.
Yeah. But the thing is, he sold them on it.
Right.
He was selling it. They're all desensitized, but he sold it to where it's convincing. Even though I think deep down, especially near the end, when Jane's like has her, we're not gonna spoil it, but she has her suspicions that Aaron brings up about that news piece.
Right.
If you watch the scene, you kind of think, does she believe it?
Yeah, because that's the thing.
There's like... down, and they show everyone's face are all like, and Aaron and Jane are just have different reactions than anyone else.
Right.
So that makes me think, like, is she just sugarcoating?
Well, and there are moments throughout the movie where she's kind of like, she doesn't quite take Aaron 100% seriously because, like, she knows how much he's into her. But she knows how much he's into her, so she kind of I think has that those rose-tinted glass or whatever of, is he telling me the truth or is he just saying this because he likes me?
Yeah.
And I think we've all been in those situations, where you're like, is someone saying this because they're being honest, or are they just saying this for some kind of ulterior motive?
Are they trying to sell you?
Exactly.
Is it authentic or is it just a selling point? I think that's why I like the film a little more than you did. I'm not saying you don't like complex characters.
No, I do.
But I think that's what I like about it. It ain't no When Harry Met Sally.
That's a good movie. I like that movie.
It's one of my favorite romantic comedies of all time. It's not smartly written. It's smartly written, but it's not like that to where you like Harry, you like Sally, and you like the other characters around them.
No.
This one is, I guess it's just like kind of like The News. It's like morally ambiguous.
And maybe that therein lies probably why I felt so disconnected. I don't care about The News. I don't like The News. The News bothers me. And I think maybe that was it. Maybe this movie is a victim for me of its setting. Because, you know, I do feel like in another movie, like in another setting, I care more about these characters and I would like more going on. But I think just that vibe just felt too dry
Sterile.
for me, a little too sterile. And again, it's just like
the news program.
Yeah, and I try to avoid the news because I like being happy.
Yeah. So I guess that leads to, I mean, everything else, like, I mean, you can't, it's mostly a character, it's mostly about the actors and the characters. So the cinematography is fine for what it is. I don't even know, was there a score? I don't know.
Probably not.
But yeah, like there was a score. There's people pitching the new music.
I forgot all about that. I love that scene. And then the guy's like reacting to it, and he's just like, I think he was like, I'm blown away.
Yeah.
And then he just immediately moves on.
Yeah. And also Jack Nicholson playing an asshole.
Is he playing though?
Oh, that's true. Okay. Anyway. So Scott, big question I ask everyone. I don't think I've ever been asked this question ever. Do you recommend the film?
Even though I didn't particularly enjoy it, I still recommend it. I think this is a movie that's worth a try. I think it's one of those movies where, you know, give it a try. It might appeal to you. It might not. Hey, I'm not going to sit here and say if I watch it again, you know, having seen it, maybe I need that second viewing.
Yeah.
But I definitely think it's one of those movies where it's either gonna work for you or it isn't. But I don't think even if it doesn't, I don't think you're gonna have a problem with it. I don't regret watching it. Trust me, I've seen a lot of movies I didn't like where I regret watching it. I don't regret it. I don't have a problem that I watched it. There was some stuff in there that I did enjoy. I do think some of the jokes worked. I love the stuff with the kids at the beginning.
Yeah.
I do think it was well acted. I do think it was, you know, it was well done. It's just, you know, just didn't hit for me. But I would absolutely recommend this one to somebody who, you know, if you're interested in both the setting, if you're familiar with the actors, or if just you look up the synopsis and the story sounds appealing to you, I say give it a try.
Yeah. Everything you said. I liked the film a little more, but, you know, I definitely recommend the film to people. And if you want to watch it, I mean, it's available. The Criterion has a release for Blu-ray and DVD, of course.
Right.
But it's also, I think you and me both watched it on HBO Max.
Right.
So you can watch it there if you don't want. If you're like, I don't know if I want to jump in and buy that Blu-ray, I might put it on my list of things to buy from Criterion. But if you want to give it like a taste test, watch it on HBO Max. They have a lot of Criterion stuff on there too. So
right. Past and present,
yes.
not just ones that are currently on the Criterion Collection, but stuff that used to be is even there too. So hey, give it a shot.
Yeah. So that's our thoughts on Broadcast News. Let us know in the comment section below what you think about this film. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Like, subscribe, share the video. Please subscribe.
Absolutely.
Have this channel grow. 2022, we have big plans to grow this more.
That's right.
And we need your help with that.
Yeah, so, we need you in 2022.
That rhymes. You see, you should be a news anchor with that line.
And for that, I'm Scott.
And I am Wade. And we will see you later.